By now, it's no secret that Riot Games is planning an MMO. Or rather than planning, they're already building it. But even if they're already building the MMO, there's not a whole lot of footage out yet. We don't have any playtest, we don't have any visuals, we don't know the story, or really anything. We only have tidbits of information that Ghostcrawler tells us to keep us invested, wanting for more, like a crack fiend. So there's not a whole lot of stuff out yet. That doesn't stop me, however, from talking about what kind of things I'd like to see. What kind of thing I'm looking forward to the most, what kind of thing I hope to see. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be my top 5 things I look forward to most in the MMO. To start off this list, number 1, social interactions. Now this is going to sound strange coming from a guy who spends all his time inside, not going outside to talk to people, only playing video games or making videos. But I am really looking forward to the kind of guild experience. To the kind of people you meet, people who are also into the lore of League of Legends, hanging out with them, doing raids together, farming together. And that kind of stuff where you're just spending 10 hours a day talking, grinding, having fun. I really look forward to that. I liked that a lot back in the day when I played Minecraft or such with my friends. It is a lot of fun. Now, number 2. I'm looking forward to choices. Now, when I say choices, I don't necessarily mean the kind of choice of like Pokemon games. Hey, do you want to trade? Yes, no? And if you press no, it just, well, lets you start again and ask you again if you want to trade. I'm not talking about that kind of phony choice that they've been doing in the League visual novels up until now, where it was like, hey, you get 3 answers, all of them will give you the exact same story. It just gets like one different line of dialogue, and then it all goes back to normal. I'm talking about choices to play the game. Like how you could maybe assign 2 different factions and fight against different enemies. Or maybe how you can have some moral choices where you like save people or don't save people, kill them and steal their stuff or help them. And that'll affect the fame you get or the reputation you get in certain areas. Stuff like that. As well as choices in the character. Choices in your build path, in your skills, in your class. Different ways to play the game, essentially. That you aren't forced to play the same game over and over again, but instead you can have a different experience every time you play it. Now, number 3, and this one might be a bit weird because it's solely story focused, but moral grayness. Now what I mean by that is that I don't want it to be grr, I am the big bad evil who is going to destroy the world and you need to fight me to not destroy the world. I want it to be ambiguous. And I think that League of Legends does a really good job at doing that. There's barely a character out there who's just purely evil for the sake of evil. Now there are some of those around in League of Legends, I know. But what I like is the kind of Silas or the kind of Swain. The people who are doing necessary evil, where you can get behind their cause but not behind their means. So for example, I won a quest where someone tells me to go stop some bandits who are robbing people, only to find out that these bandits are starving. They don't have any money and they need to rob people to survive. Only to then further interact with them and realize that they've been slave traders who have been deprived of their business because Swain illegalized slaves. Only to then realize that Swain only legalized slaves so he could send them to the front lines more effectively. Stuff like that, right? It's like, well, what the hell am I supposed to think now? Who the hell side am I on even now? I want that kind of story. And I think Riot Games has a lot of cool characters and potential for that, where you're just generally wondering whose side to take, and there are no right or wrong answers. Now, number 4, what I'm looking forward to have to be exploration. Because I love the world of Runeterra, and I love the way it looks, the things that they've built, the artistic choices. I love to do exploration on a visual level, and on a visual and storytelling level. So what I mean by that is, when I spawn in Demacia, I want to see the patricide buildings, the marble-like statues, I want to see the Demacians, I want to hear what they have to say, or maybe read. I want to see how buildings look, how the Demacian forests look, and I want the region to feel alive, like I'm currently walking through Runeterra. And I'd gladly sacrifice quantity for quality in that regard. I want to feel like the regions are lived in, not just like an empty model that has absolutely nothing in it. I'd rather have only maybe Demacia, Noxus and Freljord, like the Valorant continent, and no Shurima, no Ionia, no Ixtal, but have these regions feel alive and lived in, something new to discover, something to explore, buildings that we've heard about shown, like the castle, in great detail. So you can just wander around looking at the regions, looking at the detail. I love that. Now for my last point, and perhaps one of the most hype fantasies that I have about the MMO. Something that I'm really excited about and just hope happens in some form or way. Raid bosses and boss fights. Well, at least some of them need to be with champions we know or characters we know. I cannot put into words how hype I am about the idea of fighting an Aatrox in a raid with my 5 friends. You know, just fucking him regenerating, reviving, having a third freaking phase. His theme song starts playing while he's shouting profanity at you.
I will hack and chop and cleave and sunder the filth of your forms!
And basically going absolutely bonkers, screaming shit at you from the game. Fight or be forgotten. Or maybe Aurelion's soul is just tormenting you and the entire raid is like surviving long enough and then he gives you the best fucking loot in the game.
You are going to punch a star dragon. Good luck with that.
Or perhaps you're in Zorn and you suddenly find like a secret boss, Warwick, Mundo type shit, and you just like hear the fucking horror music playing and you kinda have to fight your way out of that. I would absolutely go crazy over seeing something like that, over the Aatrox raid boss, you know? That is something I am so excited about, I can't even put it into words. And I know that they said that they would not turn to champions immediately every time they're out of ideas. But I very much hope that they have at least some sort of champion raid bosses that we can experience. Now, that's my list of top 5 things that I'm excited about in the MMO, in no particular order, just in case you're wondering. I wonder what you guys think about the MMO, what you're excited about, what you want to see, what you don't really want to see, maybe your fears. I'd be happy to talk. I'm gonna be here always, making videos on this channel, about talking about the things I like. Probably gonna be the League lore or the MMO more often than not, so do subscribe if you want to see more of this content or want to talk about it more. I would be ever so grateful, honestly, really. But I'm not gonna annoy you any longer. Thanks for listening and have a great day!